Now, I know Willie don't let you smoke in his eye. But I'm your Uncle Elroy. I don't give a damn how high you get in mine, as long as you let me hit it.
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies.
My hydro on the D-Lo.
Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. No New Bullying. Your host Leroy, aka Indigo Green, Sticky Icky, with my co-host.
This is Eli, aka Travel Biscuits and Gravy.
There you go. And there is a weird sex site in the 2000 that was named that. But yeah, I won't
Really?
tell you what that sounds
Travel
like.
Biscuits and Gravy?
You never heard of Soggy Biscuit?
Oh, Soggy Biscuits.
Yeah.
I was making a Star Wars reference. Travel Biscuits, eh?
Okay, that's where our minds are way too.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
Get your
kids
mind out the
don't
gutter,
Google,
yo.
kids do not Google Soggy Biscuit. I'll just put it like that. But yeah. Eli, I had some bad news for you, but now I got some good news for you. Your
Awesome.
team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, basketball, NBA playoffs. No, you're not watching it. I thought
Yeah,
for
I'm not.
sure. But I thought for sure they were done. They were out.
I
That's
thought
right.
they were done. I'm not following. Like, I'm so not a basketball fan, but I heard that they were. I'm still
They've
surprised.
been getting
that
their ass whooped the whole time. But tonight, while I was preparing the podcast and setting up everything, I was looking at the score like, okay, getting their ass whooped. I'm gonna report to Eli some bad news. They've been put out the playoff. They won. I don't know how. I don't know what the fuck they did. They won. So they live to die another day. Yeah. Funny thing about it, their
is it
best
just,
play.
one of the games?
Just
I don't
one
even
of
know
the
how
games.
many series. I don't even know how many games are in the series.
It's 4 out of 7. 4 out of 7.
Okay.
They're down 3. So they were about to get tonight was about to be the last game of their entire they've been put out, but they won. So yeah. And the best player on the team name is nicknamed Ant-Man.
Oh, no shit.
Figured you like that, yeah. Your favorite player. I'm gonna get you a t-shirt. I'm gonna get you a jersey. Just say Ant-Man on the back. Yeah, people know what the hell they're gonna be confused.
Back in the day when I went to like an alternative school for Native kids, and one of the Timberwolves came and visited and spoke to us. I didn't know who he was, and I can't remember. I think his name was Tony something. But he was like he was like the guy that that went against Jordan and all the other,
Oh, he was just on the highlight reels getting dunked on and shit.
Yeah, like whatever position Jordan played, that was the one he had to face off against.
Which is why nobody knows who he is. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh man, at that point you basically, if you were a guard in the 90s Chicken Joy, you were basically like a stormtrooper in Star Wars. That's basically what you were. You were cannon fodder. That's all. Yeah. That being said, let's move on. Like I said, we got to the this week was pretty awesome because now we finally had our. Well, you know what? I guess people celebrated 420 for like the first time in 3 years.
Oh, that's right.
The sticky icky green. Smoking on the devil's lettuce. So they got the blue one on the side. So any kind of flavor swamp thing you have, it's there.
The wacky tobacco.
Exactly. So that's what I think about 420. Yeah, like I said, everybody was celebrating on 420, and then on 421, your job had a random drug test. So that's what happened. So yeah, I just want to say
I believe it's still illegal. I mean, it's legal in some states now.
In some states, you think everybody would just legalize it by now, but nah, it's still a thing. So, let's go with it. That being said, we move on to the next part of the podcast. Yeah, now, sure. Okay, so let's get to the meat of the podcast. Jonathan Mason is still canceled. Now we have a thing on this podcast. We haven't actually done it in years, but we're going to honor this bet because Jonathan Major is still canceled. And I said, 3 weeks, a month ago, something like that, it was going to blow over in a week because Marvel lawyers were going to just lawyer up and just Men in Black and make us forget about this stuff. Turns out they didn't. Turns out we have been, it's even a bigger deal than what it was before. I'm not going to get into it. All I know is that he has been canceled from everything. His management has dropped them. His every studio has dropped them. Movies have dropped them. I think his Spotify account's been canceled. I don't know. He's done. So that's it. You can't do anything. I
Spot.
don't know what the fuck's going on.
Took his library card.
Right, everything's gone. But the funny thing is, people are like, well, what about Marvel? Well, the thing is, he still has a Marvel project coming out this year. He has Loki season 2 coming out. It's already been filmed. He's already in it. They can't cut him, so he's in it. So what he's gonna do with Marvel, we don't know. But the thing is that I said it's gonna blow over. It didn't blow over. It's a bigger than it was before. And matter of fact, the New York's DA is putting a case together against him, and it has like an army of women ready to testify against him. Like, oh shit! So it's about to be pretty bad. So the main point we want to take away from this is that I was wrong. So that's okay. I can be wrong once a year, but since I was wrong, I'm gonna honor my commitment, because whenever I'm wrong on this podcast, there's a rule. I have to eat cheeseburger. This is from Wendy's, I think. I don't want to advertise Wendy's. But to make my punishment even more severe, I'm going to wash it down with the nastiest soda known to mankind. Dr. Pepper.
You don't like Dr. Pepper?
I hate Dr. Pepper. I had a bet even on the old podcast with Eric. I had a bit with Dr. Pepper. I had to drink Dr. Pepper. Still hate this shit. But since I was wrong, this is my punishment. So I'm going to do that. But while I'm going to eat this cheeseburger, Eli, you saw a movie.
I did see a movie.
Okay. So you just have enough time to review the movie while I eat a cheeseburger, because it's very hard for me. Yeah, for me to eat a cheeseburger and run a podcast at the same time. So I'm going to just let you just get it all out your chest, because I already know you hate this movie, even though I haven't know. I saw the trailer, so I'm like, this is some shit Eli would hate. Let's just see what he's going to say about it.
I didn't hate it.
We'll see. But while you do it, I'm going to mute my mic, because I want to sound like I'm carpet munching in the background. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and let you get started off. Like I said, Eli saw a movie, and I'm gonna let him take it away. So let's see what we got.
Okay, so yes, I got to see Evil Dead Rise, the new Evil Dead movie, the new Evil Dead sequel, and I thought it was okay. It was fine. It's just a straight up horror movie. I'm a huge fan of the original Evil Dead series. And what I like about the original Evil Dead is, Evil Dead 2 is like one of my all-time favorite flicks of all time. Like, of all time. I'll put that shit up against The Godfather. Fuck Citizen Kane, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. That's my shit. And I like the zaniness, the campy wackiness, zaniness of Evil Dead. That's what I enjoy about it. The remake that came out in 2013 was more straight up horror, and so is this one. This one's more straight up horror. So it takes itself a little too seriously, which is fine if that's what and I get that people want to see a straight up horror flick. That there's really no there's bits of humor, dark humor in this, but it's more of a straight up horror flick, less about the campiness, the wacky zaniness of Sam Raimi's movies, and just a straightforward horror flick. And it was fine. It had its moments. I felt it took a little too long, trying to build up because I know the story. I know the concept. Evil Dead is basically Exorcist meets Night of the Living Dead. People get possessed by demons. You read this Book of the Dead. You read the dark spells, turns people into demons. Only way to destroy them is full bodily dismemberment. That's the concept of Evil Dead. And I know that. And going into this one, it's like I felt it got a little too long to get going. But once it did get going, it was cool. It had a lot of the gore is solid. Effects were cool. Kill scenes were cool. There were some creepy moments. Kind of creeped me out a couple times. The monster at the end was dope. Spoilers. There's this monster thing at the end I thought was dope, and I wanted to see more of it. And I think that's my biggest gripe is I wish we could have had more of the battle. You know what I mean? Because I felt it took too long to get going. It took too long trying to be the spooky, scary, ghost story, demonic possession story. It took a little too long to get to the Deadite slaying. And then it kind of just ended. Like I was like, that's it. I feel like they could have had like 10 more minutes of demon slaying. You know, once the chainsaw, I was like, yeah, the chainsaw's here. Cool. You know, sweet. For some reason, there's a wood chipper in the parking garage. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, but then it just ended kind of like, that's it. I felt like I needed some more. So that was my big kind of takeaway. It was like, that's it. You know, I felt like it took a little too long to get going, especially since I know the story. I know the mythology. I know what's going on. And I just felt like they took too long to get there. But once they got there, it was pretty solid. You know, like really cool, solid gore scenes. The mom, yeah, I think the mom was said a bunch of the mom was kind of an asshole. She ends up being possessed, and I thought she kind of said a bunch of shitty things to her kids that, you know, made me laugh a few times. So yeah, it had its moments, but I guess for me, I'm more into the campy, you know, wacky absurdity side of Evil Dead, the campiness, and I missed that from this movie. This movie's just a straight up horror flick, which is fine. You know, I understand that the remake in 2013 and this movie it's for the new generation. You know, I grew up with the old school movies, and I know this is a new generation now, and that's fine. I got my sequel, Ash vs. Evil Dead, that TV series. I loved it. It was awesome. That was the sequel I always wanted. That leaned into the absurdity, campiness. So yeah, I got what I wanted. I got 3 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead, so I'm cool with that. And I get that this is a new generation that are appreciating the Evil Dead franchise, and I'm cool with that. So yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. It's a solid horror flick. If it wasn't called Evil Dead, I would probably like it a lot more.
Because you got expectations. But
yeah, I mean, and again, like I said, if you're a fan of the remake in 2013, you're probably gonna like this one. And my gripe about the remake and with this one is the Deadites. The Deadites don't look that cool. They just look like kind of like vampires. They got like different colored eye contacts, and they're just kind of painted white. So they're kind of like vampires.
But did it still have the Necronomicon? No,
that's in there. Yeah.
I think I fucked the name up, but you know what I meant. The concept of horror comedy is now gone. Most of the mainstream stuff is gone. No, horror comedy is still very much a thing, if not probably dominates.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Have you seen Psycho Gorman or?
You know, I haven't, but you probably talked to Jake, but yeah.
That's like in that vein, or movies like that, or Turbo Kid, shit like that. This is like just stupid, cheesy, gory, you know, wackiness, zaniness, and that's what I liked about it. You know, yeah, this is just a straightforward horror flick. It's a straightforward, solid horror flick. You know, it's just I like the campiness more. So that's that. It's just, I guess, an appeal, a taste thing. It's not that it's a bad movie or that I hated it. It's just it didn't appeal to me, to my Evil Dead fan, as much as the old shit. But I still had a pretty good time. Like I said, there was some parts that I cringed. There was some, again, my triggers about food. The food, I can't eat eggs now. Fucking Terrifier 2 ruined mashed potatoes for me. This movie ruined eggs. I ain't gonna be eating eggs for a while.
Oh damn, okay.
You know, but yeah, I for the most part I enjoyed it for what it was. It's just not. It's just yeah. I would like to have seen a lot more kind of wackiness in it. It took itself a little too seriously, and I felt it took a little too long to get going. You know, it spent too much time trying to be the spooky ghost story, demon possession, supernatural shit. And you know, I'm like, dude, an hour in, I'm like, where's the fucking chainsaw, yo? Come on, let's start. Where's the boomstick, yo? Let's get this shit going. You know, that's what I was waiting for. And it took a little too long to get there. And when it did get there, it was cool, but then not enough. I felt they could have used like 10 more minutes of, you know, dismemberment. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this: did Sam Raimi have anything to do with this movie?
Robert Tapper Raimi, Bruce Campbell, they all produced it. So they all had their hand in it.
Okay.
I mean, it was fine. It was fine. If you like that 2013 one, you'll dig this one. Strobes. That's what I could not stand. The strobe lights. A lot of horror movies these days, they keep having the flashing lights and the strobes and shit. And I find
Well, they gotta have that disclaimer before they do that. Warning, flashing lights.
Yeah, but it's just annoying. Like I can see, the seizure warnings, but I don't have epilepsy. I just find it annoying. Like the elevator scene, the mom getting possessed. It's probably a throwback to the tree essay scene from the originals, but
and plus that the whole, it feels like this is more mommy horror, I guess, if the mom is back. That seems to be the trope nowadays.
Yes, it was borrowed from this movie. Not only did it have a lot of Easter eggs for Evil Dead fans, swallow your soul, come get some, Dead by Dawn. There was a lot. Henrietta's Pizza. There was a lot of like Easter eggs in this movie that Evil Dead fans, old school Evil Dead fans will get a kick out of. But it also was borrowing from just horror movies in general. Yes, the mommy horror. Like the shit she was saying was kind of reminding me of Hereditary.
And it seemed to be the new thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like she was saying a lot of she was an asshole, saying a lot of shitty shit to her kids. That
and Bo is supposedly both.
Okay.
I think we made that up. I haven't heard anybody say it, but it does seem to be a trend.
The creepy old lady movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the elevator full of blood, that's right out of The Shining, it was okay. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. I had fun with it. It had its moments, just not enough for me. So yeah, I'll give it a solid 3 out of 5.
Cool.
And like I said, like it's like Star Wars. It's not mine anymore. It's for a new generation.
Hashtag not my Evil Dead.
Yeah. Like I said, I got my Evil Dead sequels with Ash versus Evil Dead. I got 3 seasons of awesome Evil Dead shit that I loved. So I'm cool with the movies being whatever. Now I hear they're making an animated series with Bruce Campbell, and I'm like, sweet. And I've reviewed Evil Dead comics on here, Army of Darkness, the shit.
You reviewed the TV show on here.
I reviewed the TV show, so it's like, there's still stuff for me to like, just like Star Wars. I don't like everything, but there's shit that I still like. This movie, it's a solid horror flick, and no, Jake, I guess he's saying this. Can I do that? Oh, there you go. I did it.
No, I did it.
Oh, okay. No, he said, I guess he's not doing live action, but he's going to voice that animated. That's what I hear. Bruce Campbell's going to do the Ash voice for that Evil Dead animated series. So, which sounds fucking awesome to me. Sounds like it's right up my alley. Yeah, if you're not going to give me live action Ash anymore, then yeah, give me a cartoon. Because that's essentially what those movies were. I mean, the original.
Now you can do it, put it on Adult Swim or some shit or HBO Max and just go nuts,
Yeah, each evil, especially the Sam Raimi Evil Dead movies, each one is different than the other. The first one, like I said, it's just a straight up horror flick. A bunch of film students
went
into the woods and made a crazy ass horror flick, basically Night of the Living Dead versus The Exorcist meets The Exorcist. That's basically what it was. The second movie, Evil Dead 2, they put an action hero in it. It was the 80s. You had Rambo, you had your Schwarzenegger, you had Bruce Willis and Chuck Norris. It's basically Die Hard. It's Die Hard in a horror movie. That's what Evil Dead 2 is. It's an action hero in an Evil Dead movie. Bruce Campbell became an action hero. And Evil Dead 2 is the reason why this franchise still exists. That Evil Dead 2 influenced everything, not only horror, but filmmaking. Like I said, watch Evil Dead 2. I know it's dated. Some of the effects are dated, but watch it for the shots, for the fucking camera work, for the sets, it's just a fucking, it's a wizardry of 80s filmmaking magic. You know, like I said, fuck Citizen Kane. Fuck the technological aspects of Citizen Kane. No,
now
watch
in
Evil Dead
Technicolor.
2. Yeah. You know, yeah, Evil Dead 2 is the reason why there's video games, why there's comics, why Doom, the video game Doom, Gears of War, you know, the chainsaws, you know,
Right.
You know, Evil Dead 2. And then, you know, then we get to Army of Darkness, which is straight up, it's fantasy. It's Jason and the Argonauts. It's a Sinbad movie in Evil Dead, in the Evil Dead series, you know. So it's like every movie is different. Oh yeah, yeah, Evil Dead 2 is better than the first one. Yes, I do agree. It's like one of my all-time favorite movies. There was a theater here in St. Paul, Minnesota, where I live. Every year, like this was back when, like in the 90s, they would show an Evil Dead trilogy every year around Halloween, and me and my friends would all mob there, and you know, every year sit through all 3 Evil Dead flicks. It was a blast, you know, fucking roaring crowd and shit. It was fun times. We did that shit for like 5 years in a row. So yeah, I always loved the originals, but yes, Evil Dead 2 is my favorite. And I also considered Drag Me to Hell to be Evil Dead canon. There's Deadites in that movie, and I love Drag Me to Hell. So I know the internet wants to claim that, oh, you don't like it because Bruce Campbell ain't in this movie. Blah, 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 blah. No, Bruce Campbell ain't in Drag Me to Hell, and that movie's awesome. So, because Drag Me to Hell is kind of wacky and zany and fucking out there, you know. These movies
and somehow
are just,
still PG-13. So yeah.
Yeah, these movies are just straight up, lean straight into hard. Takes itself a little too seriously, you know. So yeah, and that's fine. You know, people like it. It's getting rave reviews from horror fans. People are really digging on it. And I think it's okay. I think it's fine. You know, am I going to watch it as much as the old ones? No, but I might revisit it from time to time. You know, maybe Halloween or whatever. You know, so yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
3 out of 5. You done with your cheeseburger?
I've been done with the cheeseburger.
Okay. I tried to stretch it out as much as I could.
Oh no! I was just with the cheeseburger. I was like, I just was done with it. But yeah, like I said, I kind of figured you were gonna see Evil Dead. Like I said, Quantumanium, I wouldn't expect you to see that. Shazam 2, I would have been shocked if you saw that. But this, I would have been like, yeah, you're not gonna see this. I thought that Stranger 2 was your favorite film. But yeah, let's just. I didn't mean to click that. I didn't even mean to click that.
The baseball movie that he made.
Yeah. Thank you for triggering Eli, Jake. Thank you. Oh, yeah. All right. So I was going to let you go to the next scene, but I'm going to let you catch your breath.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and take over just for a little bit. Because as you talked about a horror movie, I'm going to switch up and talk about a rom-com. So yeah, because we do on this podcast. So yeah. So we're going to talk about Ghosted. I'm just briefly talk about it. What people don't know what
Ghosted. That movie with Captain America and that.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
And the other chick, yeah, it's that movie. Let's see if I can just throw the picture up. That's it. Ghosted. It's on Apple TV Plus. That's where I saw it. So I didn't go anywhere. I just watched it from there. Like I said, I got Apple TV for Ted Lasso. I did watch it the other week for Testridge. I thought that was pretty good. Let's check out this movie, see what it is. It's Chris Evans and what's her face in it, Emma DeMar, whatever name is.
Anna something, yeah.
Yeah, her name. Anyway, they're in it. I'll give you a quick premise about it. Basically, it's a rom-com. It's a romantic comedy, but it's an action romantic comedy. He's in love with a chick. He gets ghosted. For those who don't know what Ghosted is, we'll stop the movie and just let you know what Ghosted is for people that don't know anything about, communication in the 2000s. Yeah, Ghosted is if you text somebody and they don't text you back and just pretty ignore you. That's Ghosted. Yeah, it's almost like something.
Oh, so this isn't a haunted house movie. Damn it.
Sorry, it's not. It's using new age technology, millennial terms and shit like that. It's funny because when like his sister said, "You got ghosted," and the dad goes, "Ghosted? Yes, Dad. Ghosted is when you text and nobody responds back to your text." It kind of like back in the 90s when people used to say, "EMP? Yes. EMP means electromagnetic pulse," and then they go and explain this shit. Same thing with this. So they got to stop a movie in space and shit.
Explain internet speak.
Exactly. So they got to explain this shit like that. But anyway, it turns out he does catch up with her. She's a spy. They go on these adventures and shit like that. Blah blah blah. So like that movie ends. That's it. Now, as far as what I think about this movie, this is the most mid movie I have ever seen in my life. It is just there. It's right in the middle. It's not bad, not good. It's just there. It is bland toast. It's toast without butter, popcorn without butter, seasonless chicken. It's just there. These two chicks, not these two chicks, but them. These motherfuckers were boring on screen together. I understand they're pretty people. I get that, but you just can't stick pretty people in a movie and expect them to have chemistry, just expect them to just carry a movie, because it doesn't happen. They're just in a movie and just walking around like, okay, do they even like each other? Have they even met each other? Do they even hang out with each other? But everybody keeps saying, oh, they got this sexual tension. They supposed to be in love with each other. I don't see it. Sorry. That's just me. I didn't see it. So that's my thing. So what else did I see about this movie? I don't even know what I'm about to click. What am I about to click? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm about to click. They ripped the plot of this movie off from Night and Day. Don't see this piece of shit movie. Go see this piece of shit movie.
I never saw that piece of shit movie either.
Exactly. They're both pieces of shit movies. It's the same plot. Cameron Diaz falls in love with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise turns out to be a spy. They go on adventures, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's like Charlie Baltimore. What's that flick? Samuel L. Jackson and
not the same thing. Not because Long Kiss Goodnight was awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was cool.
More mid than the Gray Man. More mid than the Gray Man. Jake, you gave me a Sophie's choice right there. I'll put it like this. Gray Man was bad. Gray Man was not mid. Gray Man was bad. This was mid. Either. So I'm going to put this over Gray Man. It's like if I had a choice to see one of them, I would see this over Gray Man. Gray Man, I would never watch again. That's just most boringest piece of shit I just saw. It was like it was action, but it was like numb action. And honestly, I think Ryan Gosling like a boring ass piece of shit lead actor. That's me. I know maybe I'm racist. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just don't like that dude. At least Chris Evans.
Don't make you racist, man.
I mean, people gonna say I'm racist. Why you don't like Ryan Gosling? Like, no, I don't like Ryan Gosling. He never played anything I like. I don't give a damn if his shirt off. I don't care. Shit.
You don't like La La Land? What the fuck, man?
Okay, now you're triggering me. Let's keep going. Now I realize why I don't like that guy. You just said it, and I couldn't remember why I don't like it. That's why I don't like him. Anyway,
I haven't seen that either.
I don't plan on seeing him. Just the fact that a white man saved jazz. Let's keep going.
Is that what that movie's about?
That's what the movie is about. Let's keep going. Before I get triggered. That's what I'm saying. So the movie is that they have no chemistry. They're just boring. However, there was one scene in the movie that I'll be honest with you, caught my attention. Not only did it catch my attention, this scene actually went viral and will probably be the only thing people know about this movie. People think it's better than what it is just because it wasn't seen. So in the middle of the movie, like I said, they're running away from these assassins, and one of the assassins get killed by Anthony Mackie. So Anthony Mackie just shows up out of nowhere. He's one of the it's a cameo. He's an assassin. Okay. Yeah, but he gets killed by John Cho out of nowhere. He's like, oh, he's the second best assassin, and then he gets killed by Sebastian Stan. It was just funny. It just keep ramping up. But it turns out Anthony.
Did they just shoot this at the Disney studio?
Probably did. It probably did. They just shot it there. That's it. But then Sebastian Stan gets killed by Anthony Mackie. Turns out wasn't dead. It was his last thing he did right before he died. And it was like a 10-minute scene in it. It was funny as hell. But if it's spoiled for you, probably would be funny. But that was like the only. And then Ryan Reynolds like show up at the end and shit like that. But it doesn't really matter. So that's the only thing people are going to talk about from this movie is that, just, it's a Marvel reunion and shit like that, but it's really not. It was like 5-minute, 10-minute scene. Then they go back to that boring rom-com shit. That's it. So
I bet you they were glad they didn't have to get into those costumes. And shit.
Exactly. They didn't have to work out for like 12 months and eat chicken all day, shit like that. They basically just showed up on set, shot each other, left. That's all they did. So it was like a less than a day's worth of work. What do we got? Isn't this directed by? No, this is not directed by the Russo brothers. I've had a lot of people saying it's directed by the Russo brothers. People saying, see, the Russo brothers suck because they keep making shit movies like this. They didn't direct this shit movie. However, they did direct The Gray Man, which was a shit movie. So I give credit on that. They do have another spy movie coming out on Amazon called The Citadel with what's that Richard Maddox, that Game of Thrones dude, whatever. He's supposed to be him. So if that's bad, we need to have a conversation about the Russos. But if it's good, let's give them some credit, But no, the Russos actually had nothing to do with the movie. No production, no executive producers, nothing like that. Chris Evans actually the executive producer on this movie. So, yes, he was getting the Apple Plus money. What else I want to talk about? Now, another thing I want to talk about this movie that was kind of problematic, in my opinion. The plot. because, and I don't know if because the entire movie was an iPhone commercial. Like I said, the whole thing was about texting and ghosting, so like that's an iPhone commercial.
It's on the Apple.
It's on Apple TV app, but they also advertised another device that is very problematic. There's the whole plot, the whole point of the plot of it, because it's the Apple Tag. Now, have you ever heard about the Apple Tag?
No.
Okay, so the Apple Tag is the new thing. Hold on, let me see what Jake got going on right here. They got community.
Are they doing the community movie?
They might not be doing it. They might be getting some random dude to get the community movie. Okay.
Dan
But anyway,
Harmon.
but the Apple Tag, the Apple Tag is this little bitty device. Now, I wish I would have had one on me right now, but it's a little bitty device that you can stick in anything, your book bag, your purse, your Xbox, whatever you got like that. And you can track it on your phone anywhere in the country. So if you stick it in, but that's the point of this movie is that he accidentally left an air tag in her purse, or he didn't mean to, but he accidentally did it, and they found out she was in London. So he flew to London to go get her. So I'm like, okay, so you're stalking this chick that ghosted you? Okay. Which is a real thing people are doing with these air tags. I don't know how people know about that because yes, I've heard horror stories specifically about, girls getting away from their crazy ex-boyfriends that have stuck an air tag in their car and they can track them where they're going. But this movie wants to advertise that as a selling feature. Like, no, you kind of screwed up with that. So yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. So yeah, that's Apple for you. We're supposed to be excited about that, from the spy movie. So yeah.
Yeah, I've never had an iPhone. I've always been an Android guy. I've never.
You keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah, they're a pain in the ass. Like my kid has. I was like, how the fuck you work this fucking thing? Here, take this fucking thing.
Oh, so you're the guy with the green bubble in the text message? Okay, yeah. Or
yeah,
blue bubble,
yeah. They be liking texts. Like,
right.
Okay, now you can just like the text now.
Gotta check my head. No, Jake, don't do it. Don't take advice from this podcast. Like none, no matter what we say on here. No, especially how to track your ex. So, oh, this is disgusting. I forgot. Yes, this is still disgusting. I don't.
You don't like Dr. Pepper, right?
Dr. Pepper sucks.
The vanilla Dr. Pepper.
Shit on top of shit, but yeah. So that's what I'm thinking about this movie. So yeah,
you don't like vanilla either. Maybe you are racist.
I knew you was about to say that. Like, because I had to think about it, say like, oh, don't say you don't like vanilla. That's gonna make you look bad. Like a white guy say he don't like chocolate. You're like, wait, what?
I don't like vanilla. I don't like mozzarella cheese on my pizza.
Oh shit. We found out a lot of things about me on this podcast, but anyway.
I don't like snow.
I don't like rice. Oh man. All right. So yeah. All right. So anyway, where I rate this movie, I'm gonna rate it a 3 out of 5. I really want to rate it 2.5 out of 5. Somewhere between 2.5 out of 5 and a 3 out of 5. That's what it is. I was expecting more from this because, like I said, Apple TV has been on a good streak and they've been trying to stand out from everybody else. But this movie was just there, man. I expected more from it.
Yeah. Coda. I watched Coda on Apple Plus, and that movie, oh my God, that was great.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe Apple is going to set themselves apart from all these other just shovelware movies that just stick on these streaming platforms. And no, this is another one of those movies just like that. So yeah. And I kind of feel bad for it because everybody keeps saying Anna De Armas should be one of these new spy people. I think she's going to be in a John Wick thriller or some shit or spinoff. Yeah. She was the best part of the last James Bond movie. And then she's in this just like, no, this ain't working. So, all right. Anyway, now I'm going to throw it back to you. Time for you to get angry. Hope you had enough time to, fume. Because now we got the Mandalorian Season Finale. Yep, here we go.
What'd you think?
Let me put up the cutest picture of Baby Yoda up here.
Oh, so here we go.
Get the juices flowing. No.
Oh, check out wait, you see him right there?
Is he there? I probably
can I zoom in? I can't see.
Not on that pic. Not on that pic.
Yeah, my right in the background, right back there. You see my Star Wars mask? There's
you mean on your? Okay, yeah. Okay.
There's a Mando mask, and right next to him, there's that cute little
Baby Yoda, father and son, family. All right, so
go ahead. What do you think of the season finale of Mando, Leroy?
What I thought about it?
Yeah.
All right, I thought it was awesome. Be honest with you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I thought it was a good, satisfying conclusion. Like I said, to me, this whole season was rocky. Like my thoughts of this whole season depending on how they stick the landing on this episode right here. And I thought they stuck the landing. You didn't have like 1,000 people show up. You didn't have Luke come out of nowhere like Day S Machina like he did last season. No, it was just them fighting the good fight, and that was it. So, like I said, I liked it. Yeah.
I actually agree. I thought this was probably the best episode out of this whole fucking season. You know, we got to see, Mando's fighting pretty cool, flying around and shit, doing Mando shit. Finally, the Moff Gideon finally showed up and did some shit. Thought that was pretty cool.
You had a lot of callbacks to the first season too, like when Baby Yoda stopped in the fire, just like he stopped in the first one.
Yeah,
you know.
When he did I am Groot or whatever.
Yeah, the whole thing like that. It was a lot of callbacks. Like you know what that shit George Lucas says. It's rhyme, it's symmetry, stanzas whatever he said. Yeah, it's this that.
Yeah,
poetry or something.
I thought it was fine. I mean, that's the thing. This whole season was fine.
I don't know, Eli. That last episode was better than fine to me because I understand it wasn't the nice of a cameos and shit like that, but at the same time, there was some awesome like shots and scenes in there. You know, just with the big.
You talking about this episode?
This episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, it just has some awesome shots and thriller. Like this is one of those I would have paid money to see if they would have thrown.
Well, this was all action. It was just all action, you know.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. What I'm saying is overall, this season overall, I felt has just been fine.
Nah, I give you that, yeah.
You know, and I think they kind of lost focus on the whole Mandalorian sort of story arc. I felt like the first 2 seasons were solid. Yeah, It was basically Lone Wolf and Cub, Shogun Assassin. You know, badass bounty hunter with a kid he had to protect, and he did that. You know, he did that. He went on some misadventures throughout the way, but he protected the kid and finally got the kid where he needed to go. Gave him to Luke Skywalker to go train as a Jedi. And that was like a solid story arc. It was cool. We all felt the feels at the end and shit when Baby Yoda went with Luke. Of course, Luke showed up and whooped ass. You know, Mando took off his helmet and saw his fucking son for the first time with no helmet on. Like it was like a perfect ending. And I felt with this season, they kind of dropped the ball and didn't know what they wanted to say.
They just know they need another season because Disney Plus is struggling. We need hits. So,
they didn't. So the focus wasn't on the Mandalorians or Din and Baby Yoda's story arc. They started cramming all this other shit, trying to set up other shows.
Well, I mean, they did that in season 2.
Yeah,
that's all season 2 was.
They were taking like one episode where they're like nothing. You know, they're barely even in it. You know, and that was my main gripe. It's like I feel like they're not. They don't really know how to treat the Mandalorians because the Mandalorians are supposed to be this awesome war society, but they got them doing stupid shit like falling to their deaths when they can fly, or like Paz Vizsla standing there shooting people and then get stabbed. Like, dude, fly away! What the fuck? You know, like it's like Superman falling to his death, or it's like BVS. Superman gets his ass whipped by Batman and dies twice. You know, like, you know, you see these awesome warriors act like bumbling idiots, and I think, Bo-Katan. How many times are we gonna have Bo-Katan lose the Darksaber? And now it's broken. Now it's broken.
Oh shit! I'm late, but I'm here. Yeah. Now, I thought her losing the Darksaber was symbolism. Now let me explain. Like I said, I'm not into the Star Wars lore as deep as you are, but from what I took from
she don't need no penis.
Well, not that. This ain't no sexist bullshit. Like I hate that. My whole thing was that they said that the Mandalorians always rely too much on trinkets and jewelry and weaponry and stuff like that, and the only way the leader can be if they have this thing right here. And when it got destroyed, they realized that no, they can lead. Like in either this episode or the last episode, when Mando told her, "I don't care whether you not if you have the Darksaber. I trust you because you're you." And I think that's why people should follow her. It shouldn't not because she hold the trinket, because she's her. She's a natural born leader. Everybody should trust her to carry them the way. That's what I took from it. Now I know that's against the lore and all the shit like that, but that's just
because it is in the lore. It's like the most prized weapon of the Mandos, and
right. And basically, like I said, like if you want to be mad at that, you can be mad at that all you want. I'm not mad at you for being mad at that, but just for me, from a storytelling point of view,
let's get serious. The Darksaber only exists so Mandalorians could have a Jedi. That's the only reason. And again, I feel like they're getting too far away from the gritty outlaw crime stories that Mandalorians and Boba Fett are known for, and going and leaning more into like the traditional force wielding Jedi arcs of
like
Star
basically
Wars.
Kmart Jedi,
And that's so
no,
so
it
this
didn't.
season,
This was like the most ending, like the most perfect wrap up you can have for ending. Like honestly, to me, it felt like a series finale for me.
Yeah. I mean, because I know the next show is Moff Gideon was stealing. Man, no one knows who Esteban is. He's going deep inside shit that no one knows about. It's gonna take me 10 minutes to explain that shit.
And it's not Star Wars related, so
don't. It's not Star Wars. Right. But no, the next show I think is Ahsoka. And I think that's where Dave Filoni flourishes best. He understands the Force and the Jedi aspect, the traditional Star Wars storytelling. He's very good at that, So I do look forward to the Ahsoka show. But yeah, I wish somebody else was on the Mando and Boba Fett, like Brubaker or Garth Ennis or some shit. Someone who understands the gritty underworld that these stories could have been, like Andor. Andor was like gritty and dark, and I felt like that's what Boba Fett could have been,
Right.
But they were too busy cramming all this Jedi and force wielding and trying to fix the sequel trilogy with the cloning and shit, and they just sort of lost focus on Mandalorian. They lost focus on Din and Grogu as a story arc. And it was just an unfocused
honestly
season.
Personally, I think they ran out of story with Grogu and Din. That's why this was struggling.
Yeah,
because they were like, well, what do we do with them? Because hell, Boba Fett was Mandalorian season 3.5, 2.5. So most of the story arcs you could have had in that was there.
Yeah.
So now you just got them just like, okay, we're here now. What do we do? That's what I'm saying. So they should just end this on a high note. I think season 3 was a high note, but then to end it, do not give me a season 4 of this. There's so much other Star Wars you can tell those stories. Like, give me Ahsoka, give me whatever the hell else you got. But as far as the Mandalorian, wrap it up, get done, move on to the side. No more Baby Yoda. Zack Snyder. Don't you know Zack Snyder is making his own Star Wars?
That's not called Star Wars.
Yeah, no. What's that shit? Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon or something.
Some
Rogue
shit
Moon
like that.
Rebel Moon.
It's Star Wars for adults or whatever the fuck they call it. Shit,
Yeah, those lightsaber duels.
Do some smashing pumpkins and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just okay. Overall, the season was just okay. This was probably my favorite episode out of this whole season because it was just one long action scene, and yeah. And it's funny that everyone thought.
Everybody thought there was
going to be like a spy, and that the armorer was going to be
she was gonna take her mask off, and that hot chick from the reunion show or whatever like that. It was me, Mando. It was me the whole time.
It was Jason Todd, and
it was me, Barry.
Yeah, it was gonna be.
Is it Dune Star Wars? No, okay. Dune is Star Wars for adults, but Rebel Moon is Dune for adults. Did I say that right?
No, Dune is Star Wars before. Dune was everything. Dune was Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica. Dune was
right.
Dune is where it all started.
Right. We understand like Dune is where everything started.
Yeah.
We're talking like the new movies now. We're saying like these new movies are like the more sophisticated Star Wars. Like if you like Star Wars is kiddie shit, but the what's the dude's name that pretentious dude that direct these Doom movies? Like he's making
Darren Aronofsky. Or whatever?
Yeah, that guy. Yes, this is Star Wars if it was cinema. That's what he's making. So Zack Snyder is past that. So basically that's what he's doing right now with this Rebel Moon shit. That's on Netflix. So
yeah.
I'm just joking. Don't anybody take me seriously. I'm thinking, shit. All right. So can we move past that?
Yeah.
I don't know what we have next. Okay. Let's just transition. Let's move on to the next thing. This is what I want to talk briefly about something that I want to talk about. Okay. So we're going to talk about Snowfall. Yeah. We talk about Snowfall. A show I've never seen.
I was watching the first season, but then I fell off.
Yeah, apparently it's the greatest show of all time. I don't give a fuck. Right. Yes,
shockingly, I started watching Mayans instead. So
yeah, I've been hearing good things about that. But yeah, shockingly, I'm one of the only black people on the planet that have never seen this show before. Shocking nobody. But yeah, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. I don't really care about that. All I want to talk about is the star of the show. No, not that guy. Shit. Fuck. I fucked myself up with that.
Eat another cheeseburger.
Okay, damn, I ran out. I'll bring one next week. Yeah, but I didn't mean to talk about him. I meant to talk about Damson Idris. That's what I meant to talk about. His name is popping up a lot in the Marvel circles and shit like that. The reason his name is popping up and shit like that because Snowfall ended. That's why I want to talk about it, because Snowfall ended. It's done. Now, since Jonathan Majors got in all this trouble and shit like that, and he's got his library card canceled, and everybody's coming after shit like that. Can I say something really fucked up for a second, Eli? About
Go ahead, man.
Jonathan Majors? Okay.
Yes.
I got to put a disclaimer. Let me put some disclaimer right
yes.
now. Okay.
Yes.
So here's what I say. I'm not going to click on what Jay going to say right now. But my thing is this. Okay, so everybody's going by Jonathan Majors. They said he got in trouble with this woman, and we don't know what happened with the woman. We don't know the whole factors behind it. But everybody seems to be saying the same thing, even though we don't know what the woman's name is, what the woman looks like, who she is, anything like that. Everybody's saying the same thing. Fucking around with the white women. That's it. So my thing is this. We don't know what she is. We don't know what color she is.
I'm muting my mic.
So now you're going to put up the views of Leroy do not reflect the reviews of Eli. I'm just saying. That's my whole thing right there. You in there. You are in there. Hold on. Let me get fuck around with them white women.
Que no hable. No,
no. You can't be Mexican now. You already said you weren't 5 episodes ago. Rest in peace. Yes, rest in peace. John Siegel said he made this show. But that's my whole thing is that I'm just saying that I'm thinking we're taking it too far. We don't need to assume that. We don't know what is going on with that. We need to go down that road. That's all I was trying to say. Act what I was saying. Damson Idris. Okay. Now, like I said, this guy, awesome actor. Even though I didn't see Snowfall, I did see some clips of Snowfall. He was awesome. Saw him in some other stuff, other Snowfall. Awesome actor. And people saying that he needs to replace Jonathan Majors. I'm like, no, he don't need to replace Jonathan Majors. He need to replace T'Challa. This is your T'Challa right here. And I understand people keep saying, oh, you got a whole lot of list of black people that could do this. No. No, you don't. You don't have a whole list of black people. You don't have a list. Stop naming people like Michael Jai White and all these other motherfuckers like that. You just naming whack ass people that can play them. No, this is your only choice right there. That is your Black Panther right there. That is your T'Challa. So Marvel, now that Snowfall is over with, get the guy on the phone right now, call him, and that's it. Matter of fact, not only that, Eli, I talked to, they recast T'Challa. I talked to the creator of that. He signed off on it. So yeah. Now I'm not gonna tell you what the guy's name is. I want you to think I'm in like some kind of secret Illuminati for black people. But yeah, that's the guy right there. So Damson Idris, get on phone with him. And another thing why you need to put him on there, because here's the thing, Marvel. A lot of black people think that you killed T'Challa on purpose.
Those are hands. I thought that was a burrito.
I didn't know what it was.
I thought Fat T threw up a burrito. No, it's like
they can get Denzel to play. That'll be awesome. Man. That'll be awesome.
Denzel's gonna be Magneto.
Exactly. Can't. You're right. You can't. But now Denzel is Kane. Now I'm thinking about it. I don't hate it. I don't hate that.
Denzel is Kang?
I don't hate it, but yeah.
No.
But yeah.
Bokeem Woodbine as Kang.
No, he's already in Marvel.
What is he in Marvel?
He was in one of those Spider-Man movies. He played the Shocker.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, well, one of the Shockers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my whole thing.
Donald Glover.
He was in the same Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's
movie.
A different universe. That could be a variant. It could be a
you just
Kang
swap
variant.
over there. Yeah, it's bigger. You just do whatever. Hell, bring Jonathan Majors back and just say, hey, no, it was my evil version that took the Oh shit. All right, let's move on past that. Okay. Last thing we're gonna jump into. We're gonna talk about the video game section. We ain't talked about the video game section in a while, but just something briefly I want to talk about. Street Fighter 6 had a big announcement this week, and it was brought to us by Lil Wayne, of all people. I don't know why. Man, here's the thing. I love Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's my guy. Lil Wayne don't know shit about Street Fighter. So why is he giving us announcements? But here we are. Where's Lupe Fiasco? He was like, he actually was in Street Fighter tournaments. Got his ass kicked, but he was in them, you know. But the whole point is I'm trying to bring to it that they announced that Street Fighter 6, just the demo of Street Fighter 6 is out on PlayStation. Guess what's the only system I don't own right now? PlayStation. So I can't play it right now. I was going to have a demo for you. I was going to stream it. I was going to break it down and get all of the nitty gritty and the nuts and bolts of it. Can't do that because it doesn't come out on Xbox and Steam until next week. So that's when I'll be able to break all this stuff down for you. Don't worry. I'm going to go balls deep into all the mechanics and what I see. And all
the burns and the range.
Exactly. 2 frames here and 3 frames and all. I'm getting into it. We going there. But can't do it till next week. So until then, I'm avoiding all video footage because honestly, I don't even know if I'm even sold on this game. I might be Street Fighter.
Well, you said you were banning Street Fighter from it.
Yeah, I talk about it every week. So yeah. Do as I say, not as I do. But
yeah.
We also said we're gonna ban Star Wars. We talk about that every week too. So.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who
you got first?
What
player?
Who you got? Player?
Or what you know?
I gotta see who's on there. I gotta see who's in it. I mean, I think the demo is
just Ryu is gonna be in it, and
Ryu is gonna be in it, but
so
I pick up Ryu first just to test the mechanics.
Honda.
Yeah, and then get deeper into it as it goes along from there. So yeah.
No,
all I want to know is does Chun-Li have fat thighs? That's all I want to know. As long as she got that,
I'm
good.
Got.
Need to get it for the podcast. But yes, don't worry. I'm breaking it down next week. Matter of fact, next week, even though Street Fighter is banned, the entire next episode is Street Fighter. So yeah,
it's gonna be all that stream of him playing.
That's all it's gonna be. All right, let's move on past that. All right, can we move on to the next part of the podcast? Damn, they coming in hot. Can we move on to the next part of the podcast? I got a whole 10 people to watch.
10? I don't think there's 10 really. There's probably 4.
I'd be happy if we had 10.
Yeah.
What are we counting right now? 4?
4. We got 4 of y'all.
4 of us. So yeah, all 4 of us. All right, so let's move on to the next part of the podcast. Like I said, it's Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about comic books, and we're gonna jump into it. And Eli, I'm gonna let you go first while I get myself set up. So yeah.
Okay. Well, shit. Well, since we banned Star Wars, let's talk about Star Wars.
Let's talk about Star Wars.
So this is Yoda, number 6. You know what? This might be my book of the week.
What?
Not Baby Yoda.
Book is your book of the week?
Old Man Yoda. Old Man Yoda. Yeah, so this is just kind of a, Yoda's solo series, his own ongoing series he has, and it's just him remembering, times of his life. He's on Dagobah, kind of reminiscing about, lessons he's taught, lessons he's learned, and stuff like that, different events of his life. And this particular story arc is about him and young Count Dooku. Yes, when Dooku's hair wasn't white. When Dooku was still teaching lightsaber duels. He was teaching the younglings how to duel lightsabers and shit. And this deals with one of the Padawans. He's a Wookiee Padawan who starts having visions, who starts seeing visions of the future. And the Jedi tend to look down on seeing visions because it adds to, It acts to
Suffering.
fear, anxiety. It makes you start worrying about
Suffering leads to hate.
Yes, it makes them start fearing and worrying and thinking they know worrying about the future. It takes them out of the present moment. So they tend to like encourage those who have visions to ignore them. But this particular Wookiee, he has a vision of his Trandoshan classmate that they're going to turn to the dark side when they get older. Now, in Star Wars lore, I'm going deep, y'all.
Uh-oh, okay.
Trandoshans, Bosk, I got his mask right there, if you can see it, right there. I got a Bosk mask. The bounty hunter, the lizard-looking bounty hunters, those are Trandoshans. They hunted Wookiees. So Wookiees and Trandoshans are natural enemies. But here they are, a Wookiee and a Trandoshan. They're at the Jedi Academy. They're classmates. They've been getting along fine until the Wookiee starts having visions that the Trandoshan's going to turn to the dark side. Count Dooku tells the Wookiee, like, hey, be mindful of your visions. So at one point during a lesson, the Wookiee attacks the Trandoshan and they have a fight. They start fighting, and then Yoda has to break them up. And here's Yoda force pushing them and like making them flow, like basically throwing them with the force, breaking up the fight with the force, and basically says, "What the fuck's going on, y'all?" Or y'all, what the fuck? Or how would Yoda say, "What the fuck's going on?"
Fuck, what are you?
Yeah. Fuck, what is it you or are or something? Fuck, what is it you are? Or I don't know. Going on, what the fuck? They explain, I'm having visions that this guy's gonna turn evil and shit, and like, I ain't turning evil. They have an argument and shit, and like basically, like, you're the one who attacked me. What are you talking about? You're going evil. And so, and it's just him trying to, break him up and explain, explain that your visions should, again, it makes you worry about the future. At the end of the book, the Trandoshans ends up going off with Count Dooku on a mission. And that's where Yoda's saying, this is where I failed her. I shouldn't have let her go on that mission with Count Dooku. And this is where I failed her. So I'm sure Count Dooku started planting shit in that Trandoshans and probably turned her towards the dark side. Because, we know what happened with Count Dooku. So, no, I thought this was pretty cool. This is a pretty solid story arc. Yoda trying to be cool and teach his students to walk in balance with the Force, but they're worried about old prejudices are coming up. Is this a vision that he's having, or is it just like a dream? A dream that he's having. Thought it was pretty cool. So I get a 4 out of 5 of this. And this, like I said, this might be my book of the week.
Cool. All right. So next book I'm going to do, and I didn't even get the thing set up. Not my book of the week, but is a book I am obligated to do. So we go ahead and knock this out. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't hate it. I kind of like it. Yeah, this is Bishop War College #3.
Oh, okay.
We've been in it for so long already, so we might well just keep the thing going. It's like I said, it's a 5-part series. So we're just gonna go on from that. For those who don't know, yes, this is Bishop that's going to another alternate universe, Earth 63, where he goes against the Black X-Men, and even the cover of it is Bishop versus Bishop. So let's get to it.
Eye against eye.
Exactly, eye against eye. Looking in the mirror, my enemy is my enemy, or some shit. So yeah, so basically, Bishop on Earth 63 is a nerd. So nerd Bishop. So he's like. He's me, but a nerd. It's not a mirror, like a cracked mirror. Meanwhile, the nerd version of Bishop, it's like looking in a mirror. Meanwhile, you got the Black Quiet Council. So yeah, Krakoa's black, everybody's black, like that. Everybody looking at him, stuff like that. And they don't trust Bishop, but Professor X. Oh, and they got evil Mr. White, black, albino Mr. Sinister. I guess wouldn't matter because he's sinister. So he's just looking like he looks fascinating. You're like, oh, don't even think about it, Sinister. Oh, it's still black, so that's cool. So, and basically, Black Professor X is like, you know what, Bishop, to make everybody, to speed this plot point up, let me just put your mind and everybody's mind all combined together so we can everybody just find out what everybody's doing at the same time. So that's what he does. So Professor X combined the two Bishops' minds together with everybody in Quiet Council. And you can see on Bishop's side, like his world is all fucked up. He comes from a dystopian planet and mutants hunting him, and he's been hunting mutants and all this shit like that. Meanwhile, Nerd Bishop is all sunshine and rainbows, and everybody's getting along, and he's teaching class, and he's it's basically two different sides of the coins. So that's what we got going on there. And so that's when the Quiet Council finally realized, like, oh yeah, okay, so there is another Bishop, and basically the X-Men are freaking out because they're all white in his universe. Now we'll find out why that's an issue later on. They'll actually explain that. And basically he's saying the reason I'm here is because I need to find the woman that brought her here, a mutant named Tempo. Her name was Heather Baxter or some shit. I think that's what they said her name was. Yeah, Heather Tucker. Heather Tucker is what her name is. And they're like, Heather Tucker, she's not a mutant. She's a regular person. You're like, no, that doesn't track. That doesn't make any sense. Meanwhile, cut to Earth 616 back to the Orcus where you got the evil humans trying to kill the X-Men. So you got Moira McTaggart and you got Phelong. Phelong's back. That guy that Iron Man beat the shit out of in his last book that we reviewed is him. Like I said, he's an X-Men villain, but he decided to dip his toe into some Iron Man bullshit, and Iron Man beat his ass, and now he's back fighting X-Men again. So what is their evil master plan they've been trying to do? Why did they send the Struckers into Krakoa? Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the Struckers to unlock the pit. And what is the pit? The pit is where the X-Men store all their evil psycho-ass mutants like Sabretooth and all those crazy-ass dudes he run with. And if they freeze them, they're going to let them loose on Krakoa, and it's going to be another mutant massacre. Eli, do you remember the Morlocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be them again. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the evil plan. So they're trying to free them. And if they free Sabretooth, he's going to kill everybody and all the crazy-ass people like that. So more CW drama with Bishop's students that I don't give a shit about. Skip. Yeah, and we're back. So they decide to go through the Krakoa to New York to meet Heather Tucker, or this universe's Tempo, even though she's a regular person. So they go, and Destiny shows up, and Destiny's trying to tell Bishop, your future looks grim and dark, and everybody will stalk your friends and family. He was like, yeah, that's a Tuesday for me. I'm Bishop. That's what happens, Meanwhile, we got this little text and blurb and shit right there, this whole wall of text that Marvel doesn't want you to read. But if you read it, it's some very interesting shit in here. Because what they're saying in this little text is on this planet, Earth 63, all the black people are mutants. That's why all the X-Men are black. The X gene only activates in black people. So, yeah. And matter of fact, they call them not Homo superior like they do in the 616. They're Homo negrus superior. So, yeah. Anyway, they're in New York, and basically New York is this utopia where all the superhumans and mutants and humans have just built this futuristic city where everybody gets along. And Bishop's like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. How is everybody just getting along? When you have any, like, we had some issues, but we're cool. Why you find it so hard to believe that people can get along and make something like this? And Bishop's like, because if they make something like this, where would I fit in? Who would I be? And Nerd Bishop tells him, you be me. You're like, huh, that's interesting. So they keep walking and they go to the Tucker Center. And basically the Tucker Center is that's where all the mutants go through to get tested and, to find out whether or not they later become X-Men, stuff like that. So he sees Dr. Tucker and Bishop takes one look at her and stares at her. She's like, I know what you are. And he's trying to tell her, like, chill out, Bishop. What are you talking about? But before they can get into it, boom, the building blows up, and that's when they get attacked by their version of Orcus, which is led by Tony Stark. Because, of course, Tony Stark is a regular human. He's going to be there. And Phelong is on the team also, and Moira McTaggart and some other people also. To be continued. So, yeah, that's what's going on. So now we have intrigue going on with this story. We got, we're too big. Intrigue going on with this story. We got to find out what's going on next with that. So, overall, I give this I give this a 4 out of 5, man. I like this issue. I really did like this issue. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll get on to DC.
Mm-hmm.
I will do Nightwing 103. Is it?
Okay. Is the story about to wrap up? I feel like it's about to wrap up.
No.
No? Okay.
No, not that I know of. They're good. They're going wacky now.
Okay. Because I know that Teen Titans book's supposed to start sometime soon, but like it's not even starting.
Yeah. So this is a continuation. So what's been going on is Blockbuster sold his daughter's soul to Neron. What's his name? The devil guy from.
I want to say Necron. I mean, DC has so many devil guys, but I want to say
Necron.
Necron. I want to say Necron, but it might be Neron. Or it might both be in DC.
Yeah. Necron. I don't know. Something like that. That guy. So Nightwing and the rest of the Teen Titans, they go down to hell to basically go, get the contract back or whatever, or basically, save her soul. They get to hell, and I guess a bunch of whoa shit, my chair went back. The lock came off. Yeah, they go down to hell. A bunch of demons are basically hating on Necron or whatever, because he can't seem to get this soul from this little girl. So yeah, they basically help the Teen Titans. Some of these demons help the Teen Titans. Okay. Oh, you're trying to overthrow Necron or whatever, get him out of here. Sure, we'll help you. So they take the Teen Titans to his lair, to his computer, where he's got. So in hell, there's a hell computer.
What? Okay.
All the contracts of all the souls he has is in the computer.
Is it a MacBook?
It's a laptop. Cyborg goes and basically hacks into the computer, and he's like, "Oh man, this desktop's a mess. Oh my god, they got like programs from like the 90s, like the internet browsers from the 90s still run. Like, this is hell."
AOL. Okay. So
yeah.
AOL is hell. Okay.
Yeah. Dial-up connections and shit. like this is truly hell's computer or whatever, So they get the contract back. Meanwhile, the little girl is in Themyscira, and the Amazons are teaching her how to fight, and she's got superpowers and shit.
Let me ask you this. Did they go to hell through Themyscira?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I think Raven.
Because that's kind of the whole point of Themyscira. They're supposed to basically be the guardians of hell. That's what it's supposed to be. But
okay, sure.
Whatever.
That might have happened.
Okay.
Yeah. But basically, Nightwing finds out, like, hey, there's a way out of this contract, because Blockbuster was her parent, but then he gave her up. And Nightwing, Dick Grayson, basically became her guardian for a little bit. So he's legally not her guardian and can't sign over her soul to the devil, because technically
that's not how that works.
Nightwing is her guardian. So that makes the contract null and void. So he says this to Necron or Neron or whatever his name is. And he says, "Oh, well, if you give me that girl's soul, I will give you what you always wanted. I know you're the only human on the Teen Titans. You ain't got no superpowers. Well, I will make you Super Nightwing." And this is and then he even gives him a glimpse of the suit. And here we see a Super Nightwing, or Super Wing, or whatever it's called. He's going to be Nightwing with Superman powers.
Right.
And that's where the book ends. Oh, and back on Themyscira, that grinning man, that guy that was disguising himself as other heroes, it turns out Wonder Woman was the grinning man disguised as her.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that they're about to fight. So there's a bunch of it's kind of a cliffhanger. That's where the book ends. And I thought this was just okay. This is just okay. I would have thought like a trip to hell would have been a lot more eventful than just Cyborg hacking into it.
Well, the thing is, it's a Teen Titans book disguised as a Nightwing book.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be two different things.
Yeah.
Because this definitely sounds like a Teen Titan. Like, this is shit the Teen Titans did all the time. But when you want Nightwing, you want gritty street shit. Not
and I just thought, the trip to hell was just them going to hack a computer.
So I guess that's why it's losing me. Like, why don't you just jump to Teen Titans already? Because if you just named this book Teen Titans, I would be all over this.
Yeah,
like the same story, just everything. So yeah.
So I thought fuck it, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I won't be too mean.
Nightwing with Superman powers. What the hell? Yeah, I mean, but every Robin has Superman powers. Damian had Superman powers at one time, so bulletproof and shit. It didn't last long. It was just a thing they did. So, hell, Nightwing. I'm not Nightwing. Red Hood was like popping venom pills with like Miraclua in him, and he was like super strong, beating up shit. So yeah, it was a New 52 thing. It didn't last long. What do we got next? Oh, next book I got is Superman. Let's do Superman.
I did read this.
Superman 3? Cool. Okay.
The Quest for Peace. No, that was Superman 4.
No, that was 4.
That was 4. That was the one where Superman 3 was Richard Pryor.
Superman 3 was Richard Pryor, yeah. Which, in my opinion, was the worst one. That was worse than 4. But yeah.
I kind of like 3. I don't know why.
3 was terrible, man. We could do a commentary on them, but I don't want to get into it.
I liked when Superman fought each other. When Superman went evil and shit.
That seems awesome. Not even gonna lie. One of the saving graces of that movie. Where's the thing? There we go. Okay. So yeah, like I said, this is part 3 of Night of the Parasites. This is where Superman is fighting a whole army of parasites trying to stop him before they get out of not Mississippi. Metropolis. I'm projecting. Sorry. Oh yeah. So let's just
parasites in my neighborhood.
Right. All right. So let's just get to it. Let's see what we got. All right. So book starts off. The parasites are still flooding. We see Stryker's Island right here, and basically Lex Luthor is still cussing out Superman. Superman can hear everything he's saying. He's like, "Used to be the city of tomorrow. Now you turn into city of parasites because you won't listen to me. And now you're gonna let everything get away, and it's gonna be destroyed because it's your fault." And that's when, boom, Superman breaks through the wall, and he's been possessed by parasite because he was possessed by parasite in the last book. He's like, Luthor, and Luthor is just like, "Oh, I didn't see this coming," you know. So he was like, "Come with me." So he didn't come here for Luthor. He came here for Livewire, and she just like, "Oh, Lex, don't let him eat me. Parasite's gonna kill me." So here's the thing, like in that 90s cartoon with Superman, you know, the anime series, Livewire and Parasite had a thing going on where they teamed up, but the whole time Parasite was trying to suck her dry. And I'm not going to explain the subtext they were really trying to explain in that. Just watch the cartoon again and just have it in the back of your mind, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, Superman is not going to eat Livewire. He's taking Livewire because he wants to plug her into the Supercore machine to basically attract all the parasites to LexCorp. So that's the thing. So they're using her as bait. And the thing is, Superman, his will is so strong. That's why he's not allowing himself to like suck everybody in there dry. So he basically has enough will to hold himself back long enough. Meanwhile, the super family are doing everything to stop the parasite army from escaping Metropolis, but it's only going to work for so long. So when they plug in Livewire, he basically lights up, you know, LexCorp, and all the parasite army just attract themselves right there. And basically what Superman is trying to do is that, and matter of fact, they're so attracted to that light, they even leave Superman's body to go for the light. So it cures Superman, in which he knew that was going to happen. So now he's cured, and now he puts on that super suit that protects him not only from Parasite, but makes him his energy invisible to Parasite. See, like what I'm trying to do is trying to get the real Parasite here, and he spots the real Parasite. We know it's the real Parasite because he got a mouth. So he's like, "Please, Superman." The thing is, he's been split off so much from the other parasites, it's making him weak. What he does, he jumps on Superman and snaps a little bit of his energy, but it's enough energy to make him strong enough. So that's when he's trying to just talk to Parasite. He was like, "Look, Parasite, I let you take a little of my energy just so you can listen to what I got to say. All your energy parasites right now, if you combine all of them right now, you'll be more powerful than you ever been before. You don't need me or Metropolis." He's like, Yeah, you got a point. So when that happens, Parasite decides to just absorb himself. So he decides to absorb all of himself, and I guess he's like eating himself, like he's eating him, and then even Mercy is like, is he eating himself? You're like, don't think too hard about it, Mercy. So anyway, he combines.
That's an Evil Dead Rise spoiler.
This scene right here, the Deadites eat each other.
Kind of, sorta.
Okay.
They form into like a weird spoilers. They form into like a weird
super
monster,
Deadite,
like into like a weird monster with a bunch of heads and shit. It's pretty cool.
Let me see if I go through. You mean like that?
Kind of, sorta, yeah. Not as big as that. I mean, there wasn't that many of them, but yeah.
Right, because it was like city size, but he's got arms popping out of him and shit like that. But he's eating all of his other parasites. So now he's stronger than he's ever been. So yeah.
They kind of absorbed into one body and shit. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So then what happens? So he's about to come for a live wire, and that's when Lex Luthor pulls out this gun that he's been saving the whole time that's supposed to like dull Parasite's powers. And when he does that, Parasite's done. That's it. He's out. Thanks to the super core, So next day in Metropolis, everybody's going back to normal. Nobody knows what happened. Everybody wakes up in the Daily Planet. Jimmy's hungry, but he doesn't know why he's hungry. Clark just pops out of nowhere. He's like, I was trapped in the bathroom the whole time. Was everybody okay? And, there's like a same old Clark, always doing dumb shit,
Look how swole and huge fucking Clark is.
Right, and nobody notices this. Like
he's like the Hulk and shit.
Right. Small bit, but nobody puts it together like this big muscular dude is just Superman. And they never see him in Superman
shit the whole time. The power was out or whatever.
While Superman was flying around doing shit, Yeah. So anyway, Lois and Clark have a conversation about Lex Luthor. Like, what do we do about Lex Luthor? Should we trust Lex Luthor? Should we not trust Lex Luthor? Does Luthor want to trust it? Is it part of his plan the whole time? And Clark's like, look, I made my mind up the whole time. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna handle Clark Kent. We're gonna handle Lex Luthor. That's it. So he goes visit Lex Luthor in jail, and he was like, okay, to gloat? No, I don't gloat, Lex. I came to give you a present. And the present he gives him is a Superman watch. Now, like I said, if it's the same Superman watch he gives everybody else, like Jimmy Olsen, this watch will contact Superman wherever he is, either on the planet or it might even be past the planet. Just like if he's off planet, if you need help, he'll just come to you. He'll hear it and he'll come to you. So he's trusting Lex Luthor enough to give him that watch. And while he's doing that, he flies to Supercorp and basically tells Mercy he'll accept the job. So now Superman is in control. Now Superman is the CEO of Supercorp. He's the richest man in Metropolis now. The end. So yeah. Like I said, cool 3-issue arc story. Oh, I forgot to tell you at the end, the real bad guys behind this whole shit saying Superman doesn't know it's really us, and we will reveal ourselves.
Yeah,
they're working on Bizarro.
Like, was that like a side story or I gotta look.
Well, no, those are guys that did this shit to Parasite to begin with.
Yeah,
it wasn't Luthor, it was them guys. So they're like, okay, Parasite was basically like plan A. Now let's really get down to business. So they see Bizarro and they chopped his head off. Then they're gonna put, fix Bizarro. But in the meantime, they see Silver Banshee. So I guess the next is gonna be Silver Banshee, but she's gonna be like powered up and shit like that and fighting. So yeah.
There's like an after credit sequence.
Yeah, basically it was after credit scene. So now you gotta stay after the credits in the comic book now. So
because I thought, a bonus story, and then okay.
You're like, no, technically it's a bonus story, but it's part of the story. But
it was only like 1 page or 2 pages or something.
Yeah, like 2 pages, but like I said, they're the real bad guys behind the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah. All right. So overall, it was a strong 4 out of 5. It was 4 out of 5. Like I said, it wrapped up this. Like anybody just want to get a nice, clean, neat Superman story, I recommend these 3 issues: Superman 1, 2, and 3. Read them. You don't have to know anything about Superman, but who don't know anything about Superman? It's Superman.
He can fly.
He can fly. Yeah. Except in this issue, he can't fly because Parasite stole his powers. But either way, I recommend it. Pick it up, read it. You'll enjoy it. Matter of fact, Eli, I've been thinking I'm going to do a top 10 Superman comics to pick up. I'm gonna do like a thing. Maybe
for Superman week. Whenever are we just gonna make up a Superman week?
Well, Superman week just passed. So that's what I should have done it. But yeah. All right, but it'll always come up.
Oh yeah, it was like his anniversary or some shit. Wasn't it like last year?
Yeah, 85th anniversary was 2 days before 420.
Why were we talking about Mando?
We could have did a Superman show, I guess. But yeah. All right. So yeah. So what you got?
All Eight Eyes.
Okay.
Indie horror book.
Dark Horse.
Who did this? Was it Dark Horse? I believe it was Dark Horse.
Okay.
I should know that, but sadly, I'm not. I'm sloughing off. So this is
I'm
just,
not gonna eat your lunch for not knowing it. So
yeah, this is just a cool, simple creature feature comic about giant spiders in New York. So this dude, he's like, he meets this homeless guy who is a spider hunter, like a giant spider hunter. And it turns out like spiders is like, for some reason, no one has noticed, but giant spiders have been living in New York for like years, like hundreds of years or whatever. And yes, the horror. And he's a hunter. He hunts these, he goes around the city hunting these giant spiders. So he kind of teams up with this guy and basically he's gonna teach him the way, become giant spider hunters. So pretty simple story. It kind of reminded me of Mimic. I don't know if you ever seen Mimic by Guillermo del Toro about the giant mutant roaches living in the subway.
I didn't actually watch it, but I know the movie you're talking about.
Yeah, pretty cool flick. Early on in his career, before he did Blade 2, before he did Hellboy. It was
one
like
of
back
those
in the
Miramax
90s.
movies, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like back in the late 90s. Before he got his big, it was one of his stepping stones to becoming.
Yeah, before we started winning Oscars and shit, but yeah.
Yeah, but it was kind of that same concept. These mutant roaches that were living in the subways and in the sewers that kind of could disguise themselves as humans and sort of mimic human behavior, and that's how they got away with not being discovered. And that same concept is here. No one seems to have noticed these giant spiders ever running around the city. So it's pretty cool, pretty solid art. Yeah, I had fun with it. It's a fun little horror book, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I'll probably check out the next issue. So yeah, pretty cool.
Cool. All right. Last book I'm going to do is Amazing Spider-Man number 24. Still part of that thing that Spider-Man did where nobody knows what happened to him, and now they finally realize what happened to him. So
damn, 24, huh? That was like 2. Was it been going on 2 years?
2 years ago. Yeah, they're just now.
Your boy Ramita's still on the book?
Ramita's still there. He ain't going anywhere. So they still don't even tell us what happened to him in this book. They're just giving it pieces and kind of like putting everything together. It's just giving you enough to go to the next issue. But yeah, let's go ahead and start. We actually missed like the last 2 issues of what was going on between that. I don't really care. All I know is it happened a year ago. At least we know this what happened, what went down between him and the Fantastic Four. So Fantastic Four in the new run, in this run, hates him. So this is explaining why they hate him. So in the Baxter building, this happened 1 year ago. It was at midnight. There's some noise going on in the lab. Alicia tells him to go check out, see what's going on. But he just assumed Reed is in there just doing some science shit. So he's just like, this is a good excuse for me to just go fix a sandwich. And since Reed is in there just making a bunch of noise, she won't hear me making a sandwich. Meanwhile, that's when Reed and Sue just show up and they're like, they just came back from somewhere else. And they're just like, wait a minute, if you just came back, who the hell's in your lab? So he goes to your lab and things see Spider-Man, and Spider-Man just look, I was just looking at it. He was like, what the hell? Get your hands off that mini fusion reactor. Yeah, that thing. Get your hands off of it. And then he spins himself with like gasoline and shit like that. Spider-Man hops out and Reed's just like, Peter, what the hell are you doing? He was like, I need this thing, this fusion reactor. He was like, well, why don't you just ask me? Well, if I asked you, would you have gave it to me? Like, no. Exactly. So he whips him in the face and then keeps moving. Johnny sees him and Johnny just goes after him. But while Johnny goes after him, he actually like ignites the gas on Thing's hand and it burns him up. And while Sue puts her thing on to stop from going, and Spider-Man's just like, you guys haven't been doing this for a long time, have you? Don't you know fire is dangerous around other people? You're like, Pete, don't do this shit. Don't make me fuck you up. So he blasts him, and Johnny thinks he did a little bit too much He's like, oh no, did I kill Spider-Man? And Reed is just like, do you see a body? Like, no. Well, then he's still out there. Go get him. So Johnny goes after him. But meanwhile, okay, so we got to explain this. A year ago in the Fantastic Four run, Dr. Doom did some weird shit to him because Johnny cucked him because he slept with his wife. So he made it so he couldn't turn off his fire powers. So he can't track him in the subway. So Peter got away. And he went all the way to New Jersey. What is in New Jersey other than this mysterious figure right here? Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn is in there. He's been dealing with Norman Osborn for a while. And he's building some kind of time machine thing that goes between realities or some shit, whatever the fuck. They build him shit. And that's why he need all this weird shit he's getting from Stark and Reed Richards and Moon Girl and shit like that. He's stealing technology from them to build this machine. So he puts Peter in the machine and he teleports him out of there, and Peter is warped to another reality. And he's out of there. And meanwhile, the person that was standing the whole time was, let's go to it, Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. And she's like, why the hell is Spider-Man working with the Green Goblin? So this is a mystery that will be explained a year later. You know, that's why nobody trusts him. She probably ran back and told all of the super people like Spider-Man is colluding with the Sinister Six. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is going through the multiverse, and he's going back to that guy that sent him back in the past to begin with. And right before that guy steals him, we see Mary Jane with some other guy that's bleeding out of his stomach. Before he gets stabbed, that's when Spider-Man shows up, fights this guy. But this guy like is way stronger than he was before now. So right before he's about to kill Spider-Man, he gets stabbed in the stomach. And he's like, oh, this is my destiny. He was like, damn right, this is your destiny. And it was that guy. And so this guy is the same guy that Mary Jane is married to in today's time. And they got kids like that. And he's like, kids. And Mary Jane's trying to tell him, Peter, you've been gone for a long time. Like, really? And that's when the dude says, yeah, because these are our kids. And they're like, well, what? To be continued. Dun, dun, dun. Family. So, yeah. So, I guess we kind of know what happened if you put the pieces together. So, time travel, timey-wimey shit. And in the meantime, you know, Mary Jane had a family. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Spider-Man, it's like that Craven cover? It looks dope. Where it's like
they celebrating like Craven Last Hunt or some shit?
Craven, yeah, like Craven's like got like skin Spider-Man, like got his suit all like on a knife and shit. By Maria Lopez, that one artist, Maria Wolf Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find it. Here, what's this? Can I get this up?
I mean, it's probably like some big anniversary of Craven Last Hunt. That's probably why they're doing all those. It's probably like a bunch of variant covers.
Wait, let me see if I can. Blah, 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 blah. This window? No. Chrome tab? This? No, this. Well, this is. I can't. It's not full screen, but
that's cool. Load up. What do we got? Huh. Let me see.
You see that? Can you see?
Yeah.
That?
Let me take the thing off. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. I was trying to see if it was like a homage like to another cover. It almost feels like an homage to like that Venom cover back in the 90s. It almost feels like that.
Rebirth. The lot.
Oh, so this is a story. So not a variant cover. It's a story.
Yeah, it's a variant to a story. Yeah, The Lost Hunt. April.
The Lost Hunt. Okay.
I just thought that was a pretty cool early ass cover.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out. So I mean, like I said, they probably celebrating something Craven's Last Hunt. Probably like the sequel to that. So it's probably gonna be a big thing. They probably like rolling all the red carpet for it. So definitely check that out. Kind of reminds me of that Venom cover from the 90s, but yeah.
Yeah.
Any more books or?
No, I'm booked out.
Oh, well, cool. Like I said, if you listen this long, just like, share, subscribe. I know we went all around the world, talked about every damn thing we could, even though there was nothing happened this week. We made something happen. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen next. Oh, next week, all Street Fighter. Eli wants to be in the corner, smoking a cigarette, eating cheeseburger. I guess. No. Yeah, like I said, if you long, and I appreciate everybody checking us out. Listen to this 30 seconds. We appreciate you. You know, if you share it, if you like it, if you comment on stuff like that, we appreciate you for that also. Because any little bit helps the algorithm. get us out there to more people, stuff like that.
And check out Outright Geekery. Check out. I was on I wasn't on it, but I was commenting on Gomer's This Geeks and Comics earlier, kind of talking.
Yeah, shout out to Andy. He got a promotion. He's on the show now. So,
yeah. So check them out.
Check them out. They're always giving us shout outs on here. I mean, what else we got? Like I said, I don't know this week. Well, like I said, we're gonna go out with since this is technically the 420 week, we're gonna go out with a 420 song, but it's also Superman's birthday, so we got to combine Superman and weed. I have the perfect song.
Super duper fly. I can't stand the rain.
It's my window. I might get sued for it. I mean, there's certain songs I can't do. I might have to check this, see if I can get away with that one. But yeah, Superman next week. Superman week next week, right? No,
Street Fighter. It's Street Fighter week.
Yeah, Street Fighter next week. Superman week was this week. We missed it. We were busy doing something else. But yeah, until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
I be on it all night, man. I be on it all day. Straight up pimp. If you want me, you can find me in the air. I'm on it, 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 I'm on it. Time and time again, I gotta turn back round and tell these hoes that I am the H-N-I-C bitch. That's just the way it goes. I be on that shit that I had you on that. I don't want no more. At this time, I need all my freak hoes to get down on the floor. If you came to rep your set right now, nigga, let them know. If it's jail, I kick for stomping the head of the sleep. Fuck it, I go. Freak, I be out in the week. Straight geek swerving down your street in the stolen Bonneville with 23s on the feet. The legend Rocky E. Brown back in time to beat it down. Give me face, I love the sound. Slap the taste, they hit the ground. Back in the A, clicked up, pick up with some P.I.s that don't play. On that kryptonite we stay, so how we might fly away. I be on that kryptonite, straight up on that kryptonite. I be on that straight up on that. I be on that kryptonite. I be on that kryptonite, straight up on that kryptonite. I be on that straight up on that. I be on that kryptonite. I be on it all night, man. I be on it all day. Straight up pimp. If you want me, you can find me in the air. I'm on it, 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 I'm on it.
Time and time again, I gotta tell these niggas and these hoes. I'm from College Park, where we move that weed and we sling that blow. Get dope on a daily basis, get high, make them ugly faces. Smoke a draw and I'm on probation. My blunts and I don't be lacing. I'm on that kryptonite, come to my kryptonite. Let me beat that puss all night. Run to your buddies, how fuck you ride. Tell them about all the blacks on the wall. Tell them how you lick my ball. Tell them how concrete run the street. Big boy, he put us on.
Chevy rider, slanging powder, Simpson rolled the Dixie Hills. Diamond pressed against that wood, candy paint, spinning wheels, crime time, rap gang member, bitches, killer, kill, purple ribbon, rolling O's, and we all be on that crib. I be on that kryptonite, straight up on that kryptonite. I be on that straight up on that. I be on that kryptonite. I be on that kryptonite, straight up on that kryptonite. I be on that straight up on that. I be on that kryptonite. I be on it all night, man. I be on it all day. Straight up pimp. If you want me, you can find me in the air. I'm on it, 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 I'm on it. Time and time again, I gotta turn back round and tell C-Bone. Grab that cologne out my book bag, I smell dro all on you, home. Suppose the popos get a whiff of the slip that you just smoke, don't go, don't trip. Probable cause, call the K9 unit to the side of the road, let's take a slip. Shit, the only thing we riding dirty is the UGKCB. Tackleberry, so may we be on our merry way, cause you just ain't gon' find no yay play. I got a tough team of attorneys, make a judge lean like a sipping surfy. They play Dutty, you can't touch me, verdict, be not guilty, search that. Chevy rider, slanging powder, Simpson rolled the Dixie Hills. Diamond pressed against that wood, candy paint, spinning wheels, crime time, rap gang member, bitches, killer, kill, purple ribbon, rolling O's, and we all be on that crib. I be on that kryptonite, straight up on that kryptonite. I be on that straight up on that. I be on that kryptonite. I be on that kryptonite, straight up on that kryptonite. I be on that straight up on that. I be on that kryptonite. I be on it all night, man. I be on it all day. Straight up pimp. If you want me, you can find me in the air. I'm on it, 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 I'm on it. want me, you can find me in the air. I'm on it, 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 I'm on it. Boy, stop.